some of these folks love their position more than they love democracy. They love their proximity to power more than they love freedom. They love the history that they've created in their own mind, the relationship that they have to rulers as opposed to the relationship they have to their neighbors. They'd rather see democracy die than to take care of the least of us.
That was Newark, New Jersey Mayor Ras Baraka delivering a sharp rebuke of the Trump administration during his State of the City address this past week. He's been an outspoken critic of Trump's policies, especially on immigration and federal funding cuts. And now Baraka is taking that fight a step further, launching a run for New Jersey governor to better defend his state from Trump's policies. And Newark Mayor Ras Baraka joins us now. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning, Mayor. How you doing?
Excellent.
So I want to take from what we just heard, because I wrote it down, the history they've created in their own mind. Man, I cannot tell you how profoundly important that is, because it becomes, I think, in many respects, the underlying or the through line, the thread that animates everything we see happening now. This idea that they can create a history of America that doesn't include the folks on this screen, that rewrites our history and denies our ability to tell that history and to make it an integral part of what is the ultimate American experience. Your running for governor is the fruit of that history, is an example of that history. Talk about what that part of legacy means and should mean to the citizens of your state and the country as we're up against such an unrighteous, self-righteous, full of, you know what in vinegar, authoritarianism that wants to take down and rewrite that history.
Right. I just think ultimately they're afraid of what the history says and what it speaks to us, and their attempt to sanitize history makes them believe that somehow that the outcomes would be different. You know, my grandparents came up here came to the United States, came to New Jersey fleeing Jim Crow, fleeing segregation, right? They came to and found their way to Newport City. My grandfather was he was shine shoes in a barbershop before he became a postal worker, you know, the federal job that they allowed us to have, so he becoming the middle class. We just buried my grandmother last month, who was 99 years old, who lived through all of this. They came here looking for opportunity and democracy. Their grandson becomes the mayor of the state's largest city, top contender for governor of the state of New Jersey. This is a story that couldn't happen in many places, and it certainly couldn't have happened in the Carolinas at the time that they were there. And so they came here like millions of other folks from the South or from around the world looking for an opportunity and democracy that people are trying to steal from them, trying to erase that history, take away that opportunity for many people. That this country is only great because of those stories, because of that history, our ability to pull ourselves out of the ugly shadows of our past and prepare a present in the future that's more beautiful than the things that we came out of.
You know, Mayor Baraka, for people that don't know you and aren't familiar with what is happening in Newark, in your State of the City address, you really framed Newark as going through a cultural revival. You touched on many things like fixing lead pipes, but also you have just been squarely in the you are not about to back down from Donald Trump category. And I think you juxtapose that with some other Democrats across the country who have been like, well, maybe we need to tread a little more lightly. The current governor of New Jersey, who has literally petitioned the Trump administration specifically around congestion pricing that was happening in New York. So I look at these headlines from the Grio that writes that says you want to bring your brand of inclusive and holistic growth to the role of governor of New Jersey with a campaign message that some would call bold in the era of anti-DEI policy centering equity. And then Politico notes that your repeated attacks on Trump and Trump's policies, especially moves on immigration, appear to be buoying Baraka's candidacy, and Baraka thinks that's proof other members of his party are approaching the Trump era all wrong. I guess you're not taking on Trump though because you think it's going to buoy your candidacy, correct? or are you?
No. This is something we were doing in the first Trump administration. First of all, I would say that we're against all of the policies that Donald Trump represents. Everything that makes Newark the city that it is, that makes our state beautiful, and the economy as stable and as robust as it is, are the things that Trump is against. Diversity, equity, inclusion. I try to outline in my State of the City. I put on stage all of the people from chemists to truck drivers that were women, that were Latino, that were Indian, that were African American, from all over the state of New Jersey and all over Essex County, that are running the city and doing a great job at it. All the incredible things that we're doing. It's because of these folks. We balanced the $93 million budget. We've, changed lead service lines. We've done incredible amounts of things. Reduced crime to 61%. A 61% reduction in crime, 57% reduction in homelessness. By all of these folks, I wanted to put them on stage and let people see who they were. Like, see that they were women. They were people of color. Right? These are folks that people are accusing of being unqualified, who are doing incredible work. And I wanted folks to see that and juxtapose that against this idea that DEI was the problem. In fact, it's the solution. And we have to push for that, because that's how we save ourselves. That's how we save our state. That's how we save this country.
So as governor, you have a myriad of issues that you'll have to deal with, and immigration is one of those issues. A lot of folks think that that's a federal thing. It actually is something that governors across the country, even in states that aren't border states, have to deal with at a certain level. You wrote an op-ed recently in which you noted, quote, "Show me your papers," incidentally, is a standard line in every movie ever about Nazi or Soviet occupation of other countries. This ICE practice should send a chill through every American, and our elected officials and judges who all swear to uphold the Constitution are duty-bound to be muscular, not meek, with their power to stop it. Explain a little bit more of what you mean from that. We just had Jason Hauser, who's the former chief of staff at ICE, on talking about the brokenness of the system, the work that the men and women in the system do every day, despite the politicians pretty much getting in the way. How do you see your role as governor addressing this issue in New Jersey?
I mean, first, we have to obviously protect the Constitution of the United States. You can disagree with me on immigration policies. You can disagree that immigrants in New Jersey provide $1 billion or more worth of state and local taxes to our community, who keep our economy going. We can have a debate about that. The facts are the facts, but the reality is violating people's Fourth Amendment rights. We all should be opposed to that. We should all be opposed to, undermining due process. Everyone, no matter who you are, Republican, Democrat, Independent, should stand together in defending the Constitution of the United States. This is the thing that makes this country different than any other country around the world, a Bill of Rights. So we cannot allow the slippery slope to begin, which Trump has already begun. We have to push back against that. And so we have to protect folks in our community. We have to protect those who are documented and those who are undocumented. Everybody in this country, unless you are a Sioux or Arawak or the Blackfeet, at some point you were undocumented, and or your family members were undocumented. And so it's important for us to protect due process more than anything else. And that's what governors need to do: protect the Constitution, protect the courts, protect due process.
All right. Newark, New Jersey Mayor Ras Baraka, thank you so much. Really appreciate you for coming on.